This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. As everybody probably knows, in the last couple of days, there has been clear indicators proving that we are witnessing the Charlie Kirk effect. And for those that don't really know what I'm talking about, it's the idea that ever since Kirk got shot 2 weeks ago, which is still crazy to say, there has been a surge in support for the Republican Party. Not just the Republican Party, but really the entire conservative movement in America. They have seen a surge in support, momentum, whatever you want to call it. They have been surging across basically every single metric. And we got more updates today to prove that, yes, the Charlie Kirk effect is not only real, but it might be accelerating, which I didn't think was possible. I mean, the last couple of days, we have been seeing numbers out of North Carolina, Arizona, really across the board, indicating that, yeah, Republicans are gaining support, they're gaining momentum, and it seems like the right as a whole is unified right now. Could that change in a couple weeks? Of course it can. But right now, Republicans have gained something they haven't had in a long time, or not a long time, but at least in the last couple of months, that much needed momentum. And well, look at Pennsylvania. We have a brand new voter registration update out of the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And look at this. In a stunning gain, Pennsylvania Republicans net gained 3,000 voters on Democrats in the past single week. That is over triple acceleration from the week prior. Over half of these gains were Democrats switching Republicans. Yeah. Based on the new numbers we're getting out of Pennsylvania, which is not a far right, R plus 30 state. This is a swing state. Pennsylvania is the swing state that if you win, there's like a 95% chance you're winning the presidency, especially if you're a Republican. If you're a Republican, you win Pennsylvania, it's over. You got the presidency locked down. So that's why it's a big deal. Now, of course, with voter registration, I have to be clear about this every time, it can be misleading. That's true, because sometimes you have a bunch of voters, like in Pennsylvania, where they've been voting Republican for like 30 years now, okay? At least at the presidential level, they've been partisan Republicans, but at the same time, they still register Democrat. That's a big thing in Pennsylvania. That's a big thing in Kentucky. Sure, that's part of it. But even then, that doesn't explain this big of a gain. This big of a gain is very unusual. And of course it happened post-Kirk. So, you can't tell me with a straight face, oh, it's just partisan Republicans in the southwestern part of the state become Republican. No, that's not true. Part of it maybe, but it's like every county swung heavy to the right this last month, and it's Democrats in like Philly becoming Republican. No, guys, this is not just partisan Republicans now becoming Democrats. These are actual Democrats. Some of them might have voted Republican last year, sure. But at the bare minimum, there's a good chunk of them that just realize now, oh, this party's insane. You may not like Republicans, but Charlie Kirk got shot. And a lot of these people on the left, they celebrated this. And you're seeing a lot of backlash build because these people are insane. And a lot of voters, even on the left, they're realizing that. They're realizing these people are utterly insane. And do they really want to share a party with them? Really? So, with everything going on with the party registration, you can compare this to the past couple of weeks to prove that something happened the last couple of weeks. Look at this. A couple weeks ago, it was D plus 326 for new voters. D plus 4,000, and that's a little bit of a fluke. People looked into it. That was Philadelphia having some weird reporting. It might have been a mistake. We don't really know. But ever since Kirk got shot, look at this. The week of him getting shot, Republicans gained nearly 1,000. The week after, completely post-Kirk, you cannot claim, oh, it's beforehand. No. 100% post-Kirk getting shot. And like I said, something happened in the middle of last week where the surge really began. We saw this in Trump's approval in Rasmussen. We saw this in even party registration. Something happened last week. It's like people really realized, oh, Kirk is dead. And a lot of these people on the left, they celebrated this. They celebrated him getting shot. and they all swarmed and became Republican, like basically overnight. This is not a small number. It's not just Democrats becoming Republicans. These are new voters as well. It's basically every single county shifting heavy to the right. It's not a fluke. That's what I'm trying to get at. If it was a fluke, we would be seeing this in one state, in like one county. We're seeing this in nearly every single state, in nearly every single poll for Trump's approval. Just Rasmussen reports their daily tracker overnight and with the like R+8 or whatever, or Trump +7, like overnight. It's not a fluke, and you can keep going because Quantus Insights, a very good pollster, they conducted a national survey, and 36% of voters self-identify as a Republican. That's a big swing, even compared to just like a month ago. Like that's a 3-point shift, I think, from Quantus Insights. For 2024, that's like a 5-point shift. It's like R+1 or R+2. So even the polls, and I think even Richard Barris found this as well, the pollsters are finding that the voters themselves, they are self-identifying as Republican. They're saying, we're a Republican now. A month ago, these same people, they might have said they're Democrat. They might have said they're independent or whatever. But now, in the last couple of days or so, they're all saying the same thing. We're done with the Democrat Party. We are done being just independent or whatever. We are Republican. We're done with this BS. This has to stop now. That's a big deal. That's not a fluke. Again, if this was one poll or whatever, that's fine. But basically, every single pollster, every single state that has voter registration, they're all showing the same thing. When Kirk got shot, Republicans saw a bump, a little bit of a bump. But after people began to see how the left responded, how the Democrats celebrated this insanity, how they barely condemned it, how they just went on and on and on, people said, enough is enough. I mean, there's plenty of people that voted for Harris last year going around and saying, listen, I may not vote Republican, but I will never vote Democrat again because these people are utterly insane. There's a lot of people saying that. You think I'm exaggerating? A lot of people are saying they're done. They're done with this party. These people are insane. We know for a fact they voted Harris last year. They were supporting them, and they're saying, no, we're done with this. And that's a huge deal. Because if Democrats lose these voters, what do you think's going to happen? And a good chunk of them, they're not just not going to vote. They may flip Republican. They may be saying, you know what? I disagree with Republicans on a lot of stuff, but they're better than Democrats. They're better than Democrats on even just the most insane stuff. Like, they don't celebrate assassinations like this. I can't believe we're to that point where we have to say the Republican Party doesn't celebrate assassinations, or at least a large chunk of them don't. Right? Democrats, meanwhile, it's like 50-50. You have half of them kind of condemning it. The other half are just either saying nothing, pretending nothing ever happened, or just celebrating for no reason. I can't believe we're to that point now. And it's not just party registration or a party idea that's proving this. We're seeing this in even early voting, which, just like party registration, early voting can be incredibly misleading. And we're not going to talk about New Jersey because those numbers are kind of, it's such a little amount of votes. You can't really look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's proof of a red wave. No, you really can't. But you can look at Virginia. And I want to be clear about this. I am not saying that Republicans are going to have a red wave and win by 50 points or whatever. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But right now, I think Democrats have a huge problem here. They are in deep shit if this doesn't improve for them now. Because look at the areas voting. The darker the district is, this is by House district for the state legislator, the more people have voted. And you might notice something. The very Democrat areas, especially in Nova, these areas are like D+90. They have a bunch of Democrat voters. Look at this. They're not voting whatsoever. These Democrat areas are not getting out to vote. I know it's very early, but look at this. 60 votes, 140, 144. Meanwhile, this Republican area right here, just an example, 483. There's like 5 areas in Nova that combine for less than this one House district, and that's unusual. the numbers we're seeing out of Virginia right now, I don't want to predict anything, but if these numbers keep up and they translate to New Jersey, Democrats are going to have a very bad night. They're going to do awful. And here's the districts right here. Look at this. The more Republican an area is, like strong Republican, lean Republican, yeah, there's some Democrat areas here that they have some good turnout, sure. But usually, the areas that are more Republican, they're getting their people out to vote. And look at the bottom, like, 20. The bottom 20 areas are Democrat-leaning areas. They're safe Democrats. They're strong Democrats. There's like 1 or 2 Republican seats down here. That's it. The more Republican a seat is, the more likely it is that they're getting their voters out to vote. And a quick reminder that these Democrat areas, even the ones that are at the top like this, they're underperforming big time, especially compared to 2025 or 2024. These areas, yeah, they have a lot of raw votes, but compared to just a year ago, they're not voting at the rates they should be. Republicans, meanwhile, yeah, some of their areas are not as large as, Democrat areas, sure. But percentage-wise, they're way up there. It's like all the Republican areas are like 80% or whatever already. It's crazy. Democrats, meanwhile, there's a lot of areas that are like 40% of 2021 or 2024. And it's like across the entire Commonwealth. That's not good. And if those numbers keep up, which again, we don't know for sure who these people are, maybe they're all magically Democrat, which is possible, sure. Even then, the Republican areas are voting, not just in raw votes-wise much higher, but percentage-wise significantly higher than they should be. Republicans are motivated to vote. They're unified right now. They're realizing we gotta stop this party from winning. We cannot let Democrats win. Even in Virginia, which is still a long shot for the GOP, but they could still theoretically win. They could still theoretically win Virginia. They could theoretically win New Jersey, which I think Jack Ciattarelli's in a good position there. And the voters right now, as of now, a lot can happen, are voting. They're voting at extremely high rates. Very unusual. We thought a Kirk Effect was going to happen where we're going to see some increase of turnout. But man, early voting still might favor Democrats. It's not that good. It is not that good for the Democrat Party at all. Because Republicans, they don't have to win early voting. That's a thing people are misunderstanding. They don't have to win these votes. They just can't get killed by 50 points. If they lose by, say, 20 or whatever, they have a good chance of winning. That's why it's a big deal to narrow the gap from like D plus 60 to like D plus 20 or even D plus 40 or whatever. It's just an example. That's why it's a big deal. Same thing with New Jersey, which the numbers are very small. I mean, look at this. The day one returns, there's what? Like 100 votes? You really can't look at it for much, but compared to 2021, it is a substantial shift to the right. But again, I would say ignore the New Jersey numbers right now. It's such a small amount. It's not a good comparison. But the Virginia numbers, meanwhile, they are turning out. We are getting numbers across the entire Commonwealth, and it's looking awful for Dems, at least compared to where they should be. So we'll see what happens the next month or so. But I have become fully convinced the last couple of days there is a real Charlie Kirk effect. These people have had enough. They're saying this is bullshit. I may have never voted in a governor election in my life or whatever, but I'm going to vote for Charlie Kirk. I cannot let these people win. That's what a lot of people are thinking right now. They're realizing we have a serious problem. And if we don't do anything about it now, things could get ugly quickly. So we shall see what happens. But if the numbers continue the way they're trending, the Democrat Party, I think, is in big trouble for the future. They cannot afford to lose this many voters. I mean, they were already in big trouble because there are questions as to did they have enough support to even take back the House next year, which we'll see. But if they're losing this many people, not just to those that are not voting, but they may switch to voting Republican, that could be the difference between the Democrat Party barely taking the House next year to Republicans potentially expanding the majority. Which, imagine saying that a year ago, that, oh yeah, Republicans could actually expand the majority, but no, it's, with each passing day, it's looking more and more likely. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.